tell you, good tacos, good music. The only thing we're missing is some good cars. See if we can fix that in this video. Welcome back to the channel, James Armstrong, 810. Welcome back to the channel, James Armstrong, 8118, where we screw up shit so you don't have to. We are back on round, I don't know, 3 or 4 of TETNIS. We're gonna take a professional approach to this episode and fix this piece of shit, okay? Last couple of episodes, I've been fighting an issue with this engine. This is a used engine that I bought last year, threw it in a rush. It ran great, did a burnout, everything was awesome, but it developed an internal knock. I don't think it's a rod bearing. Maybe it's a piston.
Maybe it's a piston. Maybe it's a piston.
Maybe it's something in the valve train. I don't know yet. Not a transmission issue. It's not a flex plate issue. It's something inside the engine. So what is the professional approach? We're going to take out this engine. I'm going to throw it on the engine stand. We're going to open it up. We're going to pay very close attention to detail and see what we can find. I got to take a step back. Before I jump into that, I'm going to go ahead and pop the valve covers off and just see if there's anything obvious up in that area that I can detect. Not likely going to happen. I'm telling you, it's a bottom end knock. It freaking has to be. I'm so confident about that. But you know, that's the thing with these cars. You really think you know it all. You've been there, you've done that. You could have 2 exact symptoms. You think you know what it is, and you don't. So that's okay. It's humbling. I'm going to battle through it, and we'll sort it out. Worst case, if needed, I have a whole nother engine sitting right here. Started an overhaul on this thing. It is not complete yet. I've got the crank in the bottom end. I do not have the connecting rods or pistons in there. The heads are just laying on there with a couple other goodies to go inside of it, bump up the horsepower a little bit maybe, or at least help the reliability of it. So worst case, I'll piece these 2 engines together and make one good one. That's the plan. Here we go. All right, all we did, loosened up each rocker arm, nice and loose, and just spinning the push rod to see if they're bent. That one's nice and straight. That one is nice and straight. I'm gonna go through all of them. Let's see if we have anything obvious there. Well, as I suspected, everything looks good on this right-hand bank. Push rods are straight, no broken valve springs, no indication of metal shavings or anything like that. You can see how clean the internals are of this thing. We're gonna proceed on, I suppose. I mean, as much as I just wanna yank this engine, we'll go ahead and pull the left-hand valve cover and let's see what we see, but there's nothing obvious up here. All right, left side valve cover is off. Again, everything looks okay.
Stop, baby, you can see me in the cockpit.
With a blunt 3, 2, 1, take a knock, bitch.
Deep fight, both I'm walking, make the ground shake, step the motherfucker mosh pit. Ain't nobody safe, and nobody got an option. Put again, drop them bombs on you. And I don't even smoke like that. Already elevated cause I roll like that. I be levitating on a daily, baby. Steady meditating, grab a yoga mat. Breathe out, baby, don't hold it in. Breathe in, baby, your soul needs that. Fools out here thinking that we done. Wait till I see that a man hold it back. Ready for war, you better not miss. I'm crossing your border, taking your chips. When we on tour, I'm taking your bitch. Pushing that pure, that 100%. Got my life, I need that, I need that, I need that. Right bitch on the 5, chillin', 3, 5, 2, left, beat them, Reeboks. Tryna get freelance, now she a free that. Should've never let that bitch alone with my sweet box. Now that bitch skip it, poppin' in my Reeboks. Talking about a detox, pussy like a Reebok. Shot round up, bitch, looking like Salid, not I need that, I need that, I need that.
It's out, so we're gonna dig in. I'm gonna start in the bottom end. Check the mains. Double check again all of the rod bearings, check our clearances. After that, I don't know, I suppose we'll start turning off the heads, the intake, and going into the lifter valley and the cam and all that. You know, I can ask for your opinion or ask for ideas all day long. I'm going off a lot of what ifs right now. You have opinions. There's so many opinions involved, and it's really hard to sift through the opinions and find the fact. That's what you got to do, is you have to find the facts. We're just going to jump in and see what we find, and all you have to do is just hang tight for a few minutes and you'll find out real quick what the issue was. Here we go. Put it on a stand for professionalism, because I'm gonna do professional stuff in this video and fix this piece of shit. Pop this open, let's see what we got. Same results as last time, no sparkles in the bottom of the pan. That's a big plus. Front main, what do you make of that? Is that enough though? Not all the way through, Keep going. Number 2, a little bit of scoring, but nothing dramatic in there. Number 3, bearing itself looks just fine, but I don't know how critical the side wear is and if crankshaft end play will give you a knocking sound. Overall, minus the side skirt here, the bearings are looking okay. Rear main bearing, same as the rods. I don't think that's terrible. I got some scoring in there, whatever, no big deal, but I'm looking for, again, something almost catastrophic. Obviously oil pressure related. When the engine is cold, it has a little more oil pressure. Once she warms up, the internals warm up, then we get a little extra clearance, and then we hear the knock. That's my guess. I'm gonna keep going here. We are this far along. I hate to say this because this is a small community. I don't want to trash talk anybody at all, but I'm seeing some things that aren't quite right. Now, these are oversized piston, 1.0 millimeter, which is great. Awful lot of black stuff on there. I know when we first installed this engine, when we did the burnout contest, the car caught on fire, and 100% it was because of blow-by. It had a ton of blow-by. So what else is going to do that besides rings, right? So I'm guessing I got some blow-by going on, which is fine. I can live with that, you know. But what I really don't like here is you have these pistons that were obviously replaced at an overhaul. Those things got some nicks in there. Right about dead center, that's going to be a valve. There's nothing else that would do that besides a valve. Okay. Next one, same thing. I got a nick, if you can see it, right there. All right, and that is not fresh. You know, either the last guy abused the hell out of this thing or what, I don't know. But I've got, what, 1, 2, how many more pistons do I have that hit here? This one is hit. This one is hit. This one is hit. There's no way. I mean, especially this guy here. You know, look how deep that guy is. I'm going to guess that if that was me doing a burnout and I floated the valves, I'm thinking I would have bent valves as well. Maybe I'm wrong. Something just isn't adding up. That's not the source of my issue, but it's a discrepancy nonetheless. We've got the bottom end mostly apart. Just need to pop my caps off and I can get the pistons out. Number 1. Good. Number 2. Good. 3. Yep. Number 4, good. Number 5, good. 6, yep. I do still need to mic and plastic gauge every one of these, but there's nothing, again, catastrophic, nothing that appears to be worthy of a knock in the rotating assembly. All right, we went through this engine, looked at everything, pretty close. Now, keep in mind, again, I'm not a machinist, okay? I'm definitely not an internal engine expert. I got some big red flags, if you will. Based on that little bit of knowledge that I have, a little bit of book information and whatnot, took a good look at all of our pistons. There's nothing catastrophic on these. However, it disappoints me when you start looking around and you see galling and damage and whatnot. So these pistons went through some sort of shit. I don't know what, but they went through something. Other than that, you know, we got the valves kissing the top end. That's That's fine. I know for a fact that was from the prior owner, not my deals. I can live with all that. Lifters all looking good. Push rods, main bearings. Now, I initially checked everything with the bearings wet. Just as it sits, pop the caps off of there, threw some plastic gauge in, and they were pretty much within spec. Pull everything out of there, and then I realized that this crank has been turned down 20 thousandths on every journal. 1, 2, 3, and number 4. So 20 thousandths down from the factory size. And I said, okay, that's interesting. Started looking around, trying to find the bearing part number, verify and ascertain, what the installed clearance is for that bearing, and I came up short, but I had an idea. Read my directions, of course, for our good old friend Plastic Gauge, and it says use their product dry. So that's what I did. Pulled out the crank, wiped down all the bearings, wiped down the journals, stuck her back in, and look at that on number 6. It barely even touched the plastic gauge. That is not even 3 thousandths. The minimum oil clearance is 0.28. I'm thinking that has to be the golden ticket. That has to be. We are beyond the specs of the oil clearance on the rear main bearing. Why? I need to verify through the bearing part numbers, but I'm going to guess the overhauler stuck the wrong damn bearing in there. What else could it be? What else could it be, guys? Besides pistons? I don't know. It's got to be it. I'm going to go through the rest of the mains and double check them. What do you think?
I think it's pistons, dude. Yeah, pistons.
And I went in here and measured every journal with a calibrated micrometer. So the measurement was accurate. All of these were turned down right at 20 thousandths from the average tolerance. All of them, including the rear main. Now, according to the Haynes manual I have, trusty old bad boy from 1992, it's telling me the rear main on the Super Coupe crank is already down 10 thousandths and you cannot resurface it. You cannot turn down the diameter of the rear main journal.
Usually when you have broken parts, it's a bad day. Shit, I broke this, I broke that. My drive shaft broke. My rear end, my transmission. My engine blew up. I didn't really have that issue here. I was being proactive. I knew something was wrong. I didn't know exactly what it was, but I knew something was not right. And I was trying to avoid that whole spur of the moment, oh crap, I need to figure out a tow and get my car home. That's what this whole evolution was, trying to stay ahead of it. Usually when you have those broken parts, you know what's broken, and it's pretty straightforward. In this instance, it wasn't broken, it wasn't dead. It wasn't acting like a Ford, it wasn't found on road dead. Finally today, we know what it is. And it took me a minute to suck it up and actually ask for help. I really try my best to do everything I can on my own and jump in and figure it out. Every once in a while, you need some help. You need some advice. So I reached out to everybody here in the Super Coupe scene has to know. David knows. Showed him a link to my last YouTube video. He watched it, and right away, he knew what it was. Damn, how do you do that, dude? We have broken pistons.
3 piston cups. He did what in his cup?
Surprise! Who would have thought? Number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 6. They were all cracked on the skirts. I got one big crack right here on number 1. Number 2 at each end of the skirt. Right there and there. Number 3 at each end of the skirt. Number 6 was real gnarly. Nice big old chunk right there. I am so freaking happy, and I probably could have reached out earlier, but I wanted to make sure I did all of my homework. You know, I didn't just want to say, hey, my engine's making a noise. Can you help me figure out what's wrong with it? No, I wanted to go into as much detail as I possibly could with the resources that I had. Checking the clearances, all that stuff, everything is looking just fine. So this whole bottom end is gonna go together. We're gonna get some new pistons on the way, and I might simultaneously work on this pretty guy. You know, this will be the next iteration whenever, well, whether it's Turd or TETNIS, whichever one goes next, this will be the standby motor. But this one is just gonna end up being a stock rebuild, well, with oversized pistons, so that's okay. Finally, I know where to go. I have a mission. Getting on it. Something my dad taught me, and this has proven itself over and over again. Clean is everything. I'll never forget years ago, military, doing my first head gasket on Turd. And Dad had taught me, that was the one thing that was drilled into my mind. Clean is everything. Make sure everything is clean, absolutely spotless. Compressed air, carbon choke cleaner, solvent, get everything as absolutely clean as possible. When it comes to internal engine work, one little speck can absolutely ruin your day. Dad, this one's for you. It better freaking work.
I need that.
Little white bitch on Depop, she a little teapot, 2 left feet, then Reebok. Shawty get freelance, now she a free thought. Should've never let the bitch alone with my seat moss. Now the bitch get picked, popping in my Reeboks, talking about a detox, busy like a big box, all grown up, bitch looking like Salute, not that booty. I need that. Little white bitch on Depop, she a little teapot, 2 left feet, then Reebok. Shawty get freelance, now she a free thought. Should've never let the bitch alone with my seat moss. Now the bitch get picked, popping in my Reeboks, talking about a detox, busy like a big box, all grown up, bitch looking like Salute, not that booty. I need that. Little white bitch on Depop, she a little teapot, 2 left feet, then Reebok. Shawty get freelance, now she a free thought. Should've never let the bitch alone with my seat moss. Now the bitch get picked, popping in my Reeboks, talking about a detox, busy like a big box, all grown up, bitch looking like Salute, not that booty.
Could've been 30, could've been a G. Should've never snitched, why you talking to police? Now they're looking at you funny when you're walking down the street, looking at you like food, trying to see where they can eat. Me, I'm like Wallow and Gilly with the game. You don't really want to act silly, behave.
Thunderbird Super Coupe tech tip for today. Crank position sensor. I have seen a few guys looking for advice on how to replace the crank sensor, and they're all worried about having to remove the harmonic balancer. You do not need to do that, although it does make it easier. You do not need to remove the balancer. Here's the trick. You have to first remove the plastic shroud that covers the harmonic balancer, which, if I remember right, it was just held onto a couple of these little studs. It was no big deal. Get that shroud off of there. You have 3 bolts that secure the bracket in place. Now, when the engine is in the car, it will be tougher to get to, of course. Then remove your bolts. Let's go ahead and do that now. I have 2 of them out already. One, zip that little guy out of there. And then very carefully, especially if you're going to reuse your sensor, just very carefully massage that little guy out of there. Of course, you have that stud in the way, so just real gentle, get the angle of the dangle just right, and she will pop right out, no problem. And of course, she's not wanting to cooperate. There we go. Just pop her right out. There is your crank sensor. When it comes time to replace it, here's the issue. These holes are elongated so that you can adjust the crank sensor. So it'll be a matter of trial and error. You know, install the sensor, just barely hand tighten those bolts, stick it up in there, and then you're gonna have to look and inspect and check that your reluctor ring, which is right here, is not hitting the sensor itself. So it might take you a couple of times to adjust it, but once you get it set right, you can lock it down, then you go and reinstall it, everybody's happy. How to change a crank sensor on a Thunderbird SC without removing the harmonic balancer. Party on.